Hi, this is Richard Dunn from Avoca College. In this video, I'm going to discuss a couple of ways that textures for particle effects can be made. Now, generally speaking, with fire especially, we use what's called a flipbook texture. Now, a flipbook texture is basically all the different frames of an animation, or a film sequence, if you like a film strip of diffused textures that make up a cycle or an animation sequence of images that you might say. Now, this is an example of one that comes with the UDK. This is an explosion, and as you can see here, if we turn off the alpha, we have the starting frame of the explosion, the very initial blast, and then the subsequent frames of the animation fading out to nothing. Now, this is pretty typical of how special effects are done. These images don't have to be high resolution because they are only on the screen for a few milliseconds. They're very, very fast. Now, this is one way particles can be done. We're going to talk about how we're going to create one of these for our torch fire. Typically speaking, these are done using one of two methods. You can either photograph the source of the fire, a few seconds apart between frames, or we can create them in a program like 3D Studio Max using a plugin such as Fume Effects by Sydney Sati. That is a fairly expensive package, but it is very, very nice. The other option is Houdini or Maya. Now, I'm going to use Maya as an example here simply because it already comes with fluid effects, and just to show you how it can be done very, very quickly. I'm not going into it. Just to show you an example of how they can be created. So we'll just shut this. Here we have the Maya interface, and if we come in here, we just go into General Editors, Visor, Fluid Examples, Fire, Flame, middle mouse drag. We'll shut that. I'm not going into showing you anything here. I'm just going to show you, here we have an ignition and a fire, and if we stop that and we render it, that's what we have. And we can come along here and we can say, right, another 10 frames, render. Another 10 frames, render. And we can render those all out and put them together into one of those flipbook textures. And these come with alpha already, as you can see, for the transparency, which we'll talk about more later. So that's one way that it can be done. However, we are going to use a more simplified method using photo reference. So the first thing I need you to do is to go into CG Textures. Okay, and go into the textures part of the site. Now, you will need to create a login here, but it's a free site to join. So you'll need to create a login. This is a site that you should already have joined up pretty much. You can use this for nearly every unit in some way. So we want to go into Fire here and Flames. Now, as you can see, there's quite a large variety of different fires. We've got campfires. You can see the source of the fire there as well. We've got a slightly larger sort of a torch flame there. And here we have a normal torch that you would expect to see carried around by a player or something like that. So this is what we're going to use in this tutorial. So let's open up the set like so. And what we're going to do is we're going to select 4 images that really break up the shape of the fire. So what we're going to do here is we're going to create a selection. So the images that I've been through here and selected already that work really well together is image number 49. So we'll start with that one. This one here. So we'll save that. We also want image number 55, this one here. and we want image number 6 and 3. So we'll scroll all the way up to the top and grab number 3. And number 6. So those are the 4 images that we're going to use to make up our little 4-frame flipbook. So once you've done those, we're pretty much finished with the web. But what I'm going to do now is show you how to install the brushes into Photoshop that we're providing you with. So what we'll do now is we'll shut this window and we'll go to where we have saved our Blur's Good brush set. Now wherever you've downloaded this from the Avoca site, just grab it, copy it, and come into Program Files, Adobe, Photoshop CS6, wherever it's installed on your drive. And what we're going to do is we're going to look for the presets folder. So here you can see the path, your drive, Program Files, Adobe, CS6. Then we'll come into presets and brushes. And these are all the brush sets that come with Photoshop. So we're just going to paste our new one into here, like so. Now, when you open up Photoshop, nothing will look any different initially. So if we just create a new document, and if we come in here, I've already got them loaded, but what you'll want to do is you'll want to come into this little wheel over here in the top, and you'll want to go replace brushes, select Blur's Good brush 7, load, and they'll pop up in here. As you can see, we have the brush title here. Now once you open up Photoshop, this is what you'll see. I've just created a new document by going File, New, selecting the background color, which is black. Okay, so if we come into our brushes, clicking there, and we come in here and we select 3D 3RT under Effects here, you can see we get nice cloud. Now this is really good for painting in parts of fire or smoke, or erasing from fire or smoke, in the case of what we're going to do. So that wraps up this little video on just getting a few things that we need sorted. In the next video, I'm going to discuss a little bit of very basic theory about image structure, and also a thing called overdraw or fill rate. This is very important to understand in the effective creation of particles, because overdraw or fill rate is one of the things that will kill a game engine or a next-gen game engine quicker than anything else. These days it's not mesh count, it's all about shader complexity and overdraw. So we'll cover that in the next video. Thank you.